This movie, should you choose to review it, shall be a very epic movie to review.
Excellent.
This message will now self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oh shit! Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here in beautiful Simi Valley, California. I mean, it's just freaking gorgeous outside. That's why I had to do this review outside. And I'm here today to give you a late review of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So Mission Impossible Rogue Nation follows our favorite IMF agent, Ethan Hunt, as he tries to track down and dismantle this evil organization known simply as the Syndicate, or as Benji likes to put it, the anti-IMF, as well as running from the law as he is a wanted man by the CIA. So after the huge critical and financial success of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which got the franchise back on track and is honestly one of my favorite installments in the Mission Impossible franchise, I was really excited to see Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I was so happy that Tom Cruise was back as Ethan Hunt, and I was very curious to see what Christopher McQuarrie was gonna do with this installment in the franchise. And for those of you who don't know who Christopher McQuarrie is, he is the Academy Award winning writer of The Usual Suspects, which is one of the best screenplays I've ever seen in a film, and he also directed and wrote Jack Reacher, which, as I think of it now, was basically his demo reel to direct Mission Impossible 5. And I gotta say, he definitely delivered here, because this is probably the most entertaining Mission Impossible film yet. I mean, the action in this film is just thrilling, intense, and engaging. That is honestly the best part of this film. Guys, when I say I was on the edge of my seat in every single action sequence, I literally mean that. I mean, from the opening sequence where he's on the plane to the fight at the opera, which was so well executed. One of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie all year. And also, one of the only fight scenes I've ever seen take place in an opera. I mean, the setting, the tone, the atmosphere was just so perfectly done. And the fact that Tom Cruise had to fight someone that was like leagues taller than him, it was just a hoot to watch. To the car/bike chase in the middle of the film, all the action scenes were fantastically done. If for any other reason, go see the film just for that. Hell, even the main chick in the film gets a pretty awesome and badass fight scene, which is really rare considering that most female leads in Mission Impossible films only serve to be eye candy in the film and don't really do much in story or the action. In this film, this character does serve a point in the story, and she is freaking badass. In fact, she's as badass as Ethan Hunt. There, I said it. And since I brought up our main chick, who is one of the standout characters of the film in more ways than one, wink wink, most of the characters were still as fun and enjoyable as they were in the past films, with a few exceptions here and there. Tom Cruise still owns the role as Ethan Hunt, and I honestly cannot see anybody else replacing him in this franchise. And for a man at 50, my God, he looks fantastic. I mean, I'm a fat slob, and look at this guy. He's 50 years old, and he's in better shape than me. God, what am I doing with my life? And it was really good to see the strong bond and sense of loyalty among the members of IMF. They will never break, and they will never reveal where their other members are. And that's loyalty that you can never buy. And nowhere is this bond and loyalty more clearly represented than in the friendship between Ethan Hunt and Benji, which was one of the main vocal points of the film. In all the other past films, I never really got a clear sense of what their friendship was like, or even if they were friends. They just seemed like agents that just worked with each other side by side in different missions. But in this film, you clearly see they have a strong friendship and they are willing to sacrifice themselves for the other. And Simon Pegg knocked it out of the park with Benji in this film. This is probably one of the best performances he has ever given. And the last standout character in the film, in my opinion, was the leader of the Syndicate. Man, this guy is without a doubt the most interesting and formidable foe in the entire Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, in all the other past films, the other antagonists never really left an impression on me. They just came off as cliche bad guys that Ethan Hunt had to put down. In this film, it was much more complex than that, and he actually left a lasting impression on me. Because he didn't really challenge Ethan on a physical level. No, he challenged him mentally and put this guy through the ringer. He's dastardly, cautious, menacing, manipulating, and very meticulous. That is a recipe for a very interesting and engaging villain. Now, although I really enjoyed watching this film, I do have a couple issues with it. The first and probably biggest issue I had with this film was that although I liked the main antagonist, his reasonings and decisions were quite questionable throughout the entire film. I just felt like for a character that came off as cautious and meticulous as he did, he wouldn't leave things up to chance like he did in the film. It just felt very out of character for him. And speaking of characters, there are a few characters in the film that I felt like were either wasted potential or completely unnecessary. The ones I felt like were wasted potential were Ving Rhames and Jeremy Renner. They barely did anything in this film. In fact, throughout the entire film, Jeremy Renner is just on the sideline, just talking to people. I want to see this guy get into some action scenes, actually jump into the fray. And I know they do explain why he's not a field agent as much, but come on, after seeing him in Ghost Protocol and seeing Jeremy Renner kick ass in the Avengers, come on, give this guy an action scene. Now, you could also make the argument that because he was filming the Avengers at the same time, maybe that's why he couldn't do most of the action sequences. But come on, you could have gave Jeremy Renner more to do in this film. And then there's Ving Rhames. I like Ving Rhames. He has been in every single one of the Mission Impossible films from the beginning, just like Tom Cruise, and I thought his character deserved more in this film. I mean, all he really does is just use his computer and kind of locate people. That's it. He could have done more. And now for the character that I felt like was completely unnecessary, Alec Baldwin as the head of the CIA. In fact, that entire subplot where the CIA is tracking down Ethan Hunt could have easily have been taken out of the film because it's just extra fluff and padding to the film. It really doesn't detract from the film, but it doesn't even add anything to the film. And sure, there is something at the end of the film that validates why Alec Baldwin's in the film, but even that I just felt like was kind of shoehorned in and was way too obvious. But honestly, guys, even with all of those issues, the pros heavily outweigh the cons. There's just way too many great elements about Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. From its great direction by Christopher McQuarrie, intense, engaging, and thrilling action sequences, some of the best in the entire franchise, fantastic acting from each and every one of the actors, regardless if I like their characters or not, and probably the most well-developed, interesting, and badass female lead in any Mission Impossible film. And for all those elements, I'm giving this film a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is definitely one hell of a film, and it is personally my favorite Mission Impossible film to date. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Or did you find it really played out and you just don't care about the Mission Impossible franchise anymore? And let me know who's your favorite female lead and antagonist in the Mission Impossible franchise. Comment below, let me know. And I just want to take this opportunity to apologize for the lateness of this review and for the lateness of upcoming videos as well. I've been very busy trying to balance spending time with my family, who I don't get to see as often as I want, and planning out meetings that I don't really get the opportunity to do since I'm here in Southern California, as well as doing my YouTube videos on time. I'm trying to find a balance between all three of these elements, but if push comes to shove, I might slack more on doing YouTube videos so I can spend time on doing the things that matter the most to me in life. And that's spending time with my family and planning for my future. So hopefully you guys can understand. But the content will be coming, I promise. I worked on 2 reaction videos yesterday. One will be up today and another one up tomorrow. I'm finishing Glass Lip today, so I probably will have a review out tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. And And I plan to see Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F while I'm here in California, and probably will do that review with my cousins. So stay tuned for that. And also I might be on the Schmoes Know podcast and the We Live Film podcast. So I'll have links to that once they're all up. And also, you can check out all these cool videos of my going back to Cali vlogs. I've been spending a lot of time with my family, so I've been just making vlogs as I've been down here in California. So click these links and go check out all these awesome videos that I made with my family. So until then, guys, if you choose to subscribe, be sure to hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you about this second, the IMF agent known simply as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.